What's going on? Larry Dolby quotes, I couldn't react to situations from a physical standpoint. My reaction was to hit the baseball as far as I could. And I went through the same thing as Jackie Robinson. It's just that he came out before and the media didn't want to repeat the same story. Larry Doby's always the guy that's forgotten. He was the second African American to break the color line in baseball in 1947. He played for Cleveland. And the thing about it is, he was a great player. He was the first African American in a home run in the World Series. He came up big. He came up big. Um, the only thing is that again, it didn't have the same flavor and flair as Jackie Robinson, but he was a Hall of Fame player. He was top tier. He earned his stripes. Let me tell you a story. It wasn't that long ago. We're about, it's been what I want to say. It's about 82 years ago. We're coming up on in a couple years, it'll be 80 years. And it's crazy when you think about it because um, 70 years ago, because you think about 78 years ago, because when you think about it, it seems like so long ago, but it's really not. And the reality is that so much came out of the derogatoriness of that time period. uh, people treat you less than, think about it. You're born and bred, you're playing the game. Another thing I wanted to point out is if you were a black player back then, you had to be legit. There was no Milli Vanilli faking the funk. You was legit. They didn't just bring you in because you had to play. You had to bring the goods. It was treated like a job. It was treated like a social standard moment. And he went through the ringers. He went through the ringers big time. He had a lot to deal with. And it hasn't even hardly been touched upon. There's uh Larry Doby should be acknowledged far more. He was a great player. And it was very hostile times. He was in the American League, which had the Boston Red Sox, so they were the last one to integrate. So think about that. So think about some of the stuff that he went through, and that you just saw Jackie Robinson, but you didn't get the other angle of what was going on, the language, the lingo, etc. And you have to be a remarkable human being to sustain that kind of negativity. You know, you have to be pretty special to understand that because it's pretty heavy. It's like you get one day, you get another, and then you go through your psychological cadences. But then imagine when you got the way of the world on you, and they tell you, well, you're the second one, but you got to be the first one. It's just so much that goes on. It's an ugly chapter in Major League Baseball because it's a job at the end of the day. It's not rocket scientists. You have to, know what you're doing mechanically, spiritually, morally. So for them to act like that, you know, but Larry Doby overcame the odds. He definitely did the thing, and he was truly one of the most important players that ever played the game of baseball. And you should look him up if you haven't. Um, I used to have his baseball cards, and I just thought, wow. And then just hear the stories, you just understand what he meant to Major League Baseball. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another, and please share the video if you like. And stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free, stay true. Um, and again, if you haven't been experienced to Larry Doby, look him up because he was just as important to baseball as Jackie Robinson. All right, I'm out. Peace.